Hey guys, welcome back to Tech 702. It's Mike again, and I did something I said I wasn't going to do, but it's not the first time I've lied. I went out and bought the Note 20 Ultra 5G, and you can see there they shanked the heck out of my box. I don't know if you can see that. So it's probably on top when they opened it. But the phone looks great. I went with white. Originally I went with black, and then I changed my mind because this was all unplanned to begin with. So today I'm going to review this. I'm going to get into it. Find out what I like, what's really different from the Note 10 Plus, which was my phone of the year last year, and I'll compare and contrast to my Pro Max. Not a versus so much, but just kind of usability and what you may or who may need this phone or be interested in it. Anyways, buckle up, grab a drink, let's do it. Let's get into this right away. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, as though that's not enough to say, it is a beautiful device, not unlike the Note 10 Plus from last year, and it looks really, really nice. The big difference, obviously, is the new camera hump, which is the S20 Plus hybrid. It's a mix between the S20 Plus and the Ultra S20, I guess, because they cut the zoom down to 50 times. However, they did add a laser focus module to help alleviate some of the focus problems that plagued the S20 Ultra earlier in the year. So we have a 6.9 screen all the way across. It's a very tall, kind of odd aspect phone, but we've come accustomed to that if you've used the Note for any period of time. It's an AMOLED display that's HDR10 Plus certified. This has a variable refresh rate of 120 hertz. Now, all that means is you can assign it to 120 hertz, and you may or may not get it depending on what application that you're using. I personally prefer the old 1440p with 60 hertz. I do not see a big difference. People will swear they do, but I do not. Oh, it's a Note. If you're not familiar with it, I'll run through the features real quick. For those of you that have seen this before, it'll just be a rerun to you. So we have the SIM tray as well as the SD card. The micro SD card fits there in the top. You have your camera on the back. USB-C. It supports fast 45 watt charging. I believe it's a 25 watt brick in the box. Charges plenty fast. So basically the one that comes with it, you can go from 0 to 100 in under an hour and a half. If you buy the 45 watt charger, you can actually get it 0 to 100 in under an hour. Another thing of note here, pun intended, is the S Pen is moved from the right side to the left side here. So I don't know, there's speculation that this could be part of consolidating the S series into the Note and maybe getting rid of the Note or getting rid of the S series or whatever next year. But it is on the left-hand side. I don't know if that's a deal breaker for some people, but definitely not for me. And then, of course, all the cool One UI gimmicks like the Edge panel here, so quick access to your apps. You can still swipe to go to your tray, organize. I love the way you can organize One UI even more than stock Android. It's super organized. I love the themes, and it just works out really nice. So on the front camera, we have the 10 megapixel camera. On the rear, you have a 12 megapixel camera. You have standard, wide, and telephoto, and then, as I mentioned previously, the ultra laser focus there. And this will go up to a 50 times digital zoom. I'll give you a little example here where you can see I zoomed in to the moon and I pulled back from the moon, and it's useful but not the end all be all. I'd say at 5x is probably the clearest and definitely advantage over most of the other handsets on the market, but it's cool that it does have it. You also have the option for a 108 megapixel camera, and they do this with binning. And let's see if I can pull this here. And you can go into the options here. You can see some of the things. And the rear video size, as usual, you have 4K 60, but then this year we have the option for 8K video. It's at 24 frames per second. Unless you're watching on an 8K device, and definitely not on YouTube, you're not going to be able to fully take advantage of that. So that's a little bit of a drawback of having that there. It's got 12 gigabytes of RAM on board. And if we go over here to the settings, it's rocking the Snapdragon 865 Plus processor, and this one right here is running on Verizon. I've gotten insane battery time. I'll show you if anybody has followed my Twitter thread. I'm pulling 12 plus hours on this thing if I use it moderately. Over 9 if I run it at 120 hertz and I really push it for the day. So 9 to 12 hours. Now, there's been speculation that maybe there's some bad units out there with a bad set of batteries in it. People talking about 6 hours, 7 hours. I can't comment on that, but it seems to me that it could just be a supply issue. Mine works great. So if you have one that's not getting at least 8 or 9 hours of screen time, I would recommend you change it and exchange it while you're still in your return period. It has 128 on board of gigabytes, little gigabytes in there, and you can expand it on the side with a micro SD up to a terabyte. And then if you get the black one unlocked, you can get 512 gigabytes on board as well. The battery's 4,500 milliamps, and this is a 5G model. And again, this one being with Verizon, it has both versions of 5G on it. Now, I don't have it by my house, so that kind of sucks, but at least it's there. The sound is fantastic on this thing. It has reverse wireless charging. It has the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which love it or hate it. I think it's fine. So here, I'll give you an example right now. This is in real time. Did that seem like it took too long? I mean, really, I think it's fine. It's plenty fast. It's got NFC, MST, all the initials in it. MST, of course, being for Samsung Pay. So if they do not have an NFC terminal, you can use this to do electronic payments anywhere that payments are accepted, whether it's debit card or credit cards. All right, so here we are back with that 865 plus Snapdragon, and you see a single core score of 968, multi-core of 3261, and that's kind of what we expected. I think the chip is plenty fast enough. I think last year's chip was plenty fast enough. We're at the point now with cell phones where optimization is more important than just pure speed. So the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G, is it worth it? I think so. If you're a Note fan, it's kind of like the next thing. It's an iterative update. The camera has improved. It looks like they've escaped most of the S20 debacle that occurred earlier in the year. You still got your stylus, although people are back and forth on whether they like the fact that it moved from the right to the left. Doesn't bother me too much. Haven't decided if I'm going to use it long term yet, because I'm really enjoying my iPhone and also curious to see what the Pixel 5 has. In the meantime, I feel like still the value is there. It's got all the bells and whistles, and the naysayers will say, well, you don't need all that stuff or you don't use all that stuff. Well, the Samsung Note gives you the option, at least it's there. So it's up to you to decide, but definitely keep it on your list if you're a power or productivity user. This is not a phone that you would buy for somebody that's not tech savvy or somebody, maybe a child, but for any adult, professional, or somebody that wants the best of the best on the Android side, it's hard to beat the hardware inside. If this video was useful to you, go ahead and like the video down below right now. Stay tuned, lots of stuff coming in soon on the Android front, specifically with Google and then also the Z Fold 2. And in the meantime, thank you for your time. Everybody stay safe out there. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out of here.